Allie.
And I'm Jackie.
This is my wife.
We're married.
We've been together
9 years. Married for almost 2. We're going to explain how we got our positive pregnancy results.
And you gotta guess who you think got pregnant. Which one was it?
Her?
Or her? You'll see.
Okay, so about 2 years ago we started doing research, really kind of just reading blogs online about how same-sex couples get pregnant, the easiest way, least expensive, and of course we read medical blogs and what is safe in a doctor's office versus at home, but we decided to do it on our own.
So I'll show you how we started. So we started by a long time ago. I don't even remember when. A couple months back.
Probably.
I was on Amazon one day bored, and I bought this. Doesn't look like much, but it was a in-home insemination kit, which had everything you need basically. They're like $65-$70 on Amazon. Definitely recommend getting them. Came with sterile cups, sealed and clean and everything. There was about 6 of them, I want to say. Came with these, I don't know, some people, they like to use these instead of the sterile cups for their donor to go in. It's the, what are they called?
I don't know,
but it goes actually inside of you. So like, say you would have your donor go in this, and then you would put it up inside of you. We didn't do this. We used the cup because don't trust that. So, and then it also comes with the syringes, and each syringe is secured and clean and sterile, needleless syringes.
This one, I believe, is a 12 millimeter one. We actually used a 10 millimeter one, which is
pretty much looks the same.
A little bit smaller, but the exact same thing.
So whatever you feel more comfortable with, just make sure it's needleless and sterile.
Obviously.
We
actually got this from, it's called Think Positive.
Oh, it also has, it came with, I want to say, like 25 pregnancy tests and like 25 ovulation tests.
And the directions on how to use
each one.
Both of them.
So here's ovulation, pregnancy. So it's a really good little kit for like $65. Definitely recommend it.
Now to the fun part.
Okay, so I also use the period tracker, and I've been using that for like
2 years.
2 years. Been tracking my period, and it usually is every 28 to 30 days. So I have a pretty normal period. So then we went to the store and got some prenatals a month before we started trying. I just got the prenatal Vitafusion gummies because I don't like pills. So I don't know, they might not be the best for you, but that's what I've been using. So I went on those like a month before in May. And in May is also when and now you guys could tell who's the one who probably got pregnant. I went to the doctors. We have Kaiser insurance, and I made sure everything was good, did all my blood tests. I had to get an internal ultrasound done where they counted how many eggs I had and the dimensions of them. And then I had a HSG, which is really intense. Don't recommend it unless you have to. Would never want to do it again in my life. If you guys don't know what a HSG is, Google it. I don't even want to explain it. That's how much I didn't like it. But it's fast. Anyways, what it does, it just makes sure that your fallopian tubes are open and everything is like how it's supposed to be in that area. So everything was normal for me. For the most part.
Right after her last period, we decided that June was going to be the month that we tried the first time. So we waited for her period to come. She got it in early June, and the day after she ended her period, which was June 9th, I believe,
because I started June 5th, and then I ended June 9th.
She started testing herself every single day after that, which we knew she wasn't going to ovulate the day after, but just to get in the habit of testing, She tested from the 9th until
I got a positive. So first we were using, let me show you guys. We're using these ovulation tests, first response. Don't recommend them. It's not clear. It's kind of your perception of it.
And how well that you know your body.
Exactly.
One of the days she kept saying, like, I feel like I'm ovulating. These are the symptoms. And so we went ahead and called our donor up and said, hey, we feel like she's ovulating. How about you come over and we'll try our first insemination?
And that was
June 18th.
18th. So
even though we had a negative ovulation test.
And that was about cycle day 13-ish, I want to say. So even though we kept getting negatives, we were kind of getting discouraged. So we just had him come over. He did what he did. And then we used the cup, or he used the cup. He handed the cup over to my wife. She took it. We went in the bedroom, did what we did, inseminated it, shot it up there with the syringe. I kept my legs in the air for about 35 to 45 minutes. I want to say
Let me tell you, the first try is probably going to be the most awkward.
It's very awkward.
Get familiar with the medical side of this is what you're doing.
Very awkward. You don't know what you're doing. You got to make sure you know where the cervix is. I was freaking out about that because you cannot go up into the cervix. It has to coat the cervix because we're not doing it the medical way. So it has to coat the cervix. So you want to have your partner stick their finger up, see where your cervix is, which is obviously the bump that they hit, and then measure it on the syringe as to how far they need to go up into you so that they don't go in your cervix.
After our first try, we actually went out of town for a day and a half. And when we came back, we said, okay, we'll start taking the test again.
Well, I still tested, even when we were out of town.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so when we came back again...
I was still negative.
She was still producing negative tests. And then on the morning of...
No, it was Monday night.
It was Monday night.
So Monday night, it was so like I said, we did all that June 18th. So then the
21st, which was Monday night.
The 21st is when I finally got my first positive, and we finally switched over to these, which are way easier to read. I definitely recommend these. Clear blue gives you a smiley face if you're ovulating, none if you're not. I mean, come on, for dummy proof. That's what I need. So, got the positive at like around 7 p.m. on Monday night. This was the 21st, so 3 days after we did the first Insem. And we
called our donor right away, and we're like, oh my gosh, we got a smiley. We need you to come over right now. And of course, it was inconvenient for him because he was busy, and we had to understand that. So we were a little bummed and frustrated, but we said, okay. Tomorrow. We will for sure tomorrow. And which was the very next day, the 22nd of June. So we had him come over on the 22nd. I put a clean towel, sterile cup in the bathroom. I know, unfortunately, it was a bathroom, but that's where our baby was made. And he gave us a sample. At that point, we had already watched a ton of videos, read more blogs, watched conception videos, and just to figure out a more comfortable way to inseminate without it being so awkward. So we read about having the sperm liquefy and how long your legs should be up. So that day we actually were a lot more calm than we were the previous insemination.
And it was less awkward with our donor too.
Yeah, definitely. And so we actually held the sperm between her legs for about
10 to
15 minutes. And then I squeezed it up into the needleless syringe and then felt for the cervix again. At this point, it was higher up where it's
supposed to be higher
up when you're ovulating, and measured it my finger against the syringe and said, okay, I'm not going to go past whatever number it was.
Also on this day when we did this second Insem, this was the 21st?
The 22nd.
I also retested myself with the smiley face ovulation that morning, like 7 in the morning. I still had a smiley face, so we were still excited. And then also we talked to doctors, and how doctors do it is you would get your positive ovulation test, and then you would call them the day you get your positive, and you would actually go in the next day. So that kind of made us feel better too, because we were doing it the next day from the first Smiley that I got. So that made us feel better about that. And then I tested again that same day that we insemed for the second time. Like I said, I got a positive at 7 a.m. and then I tested again like 4:50 p.m. and it was negative. So we're kind of like bummed, but we're like, well, this is what doctors do, so we're gonna do it.
And then that was the second time. So the third time we did the insemination was the very next day, the 23rd, the exact same thing as the previous 2 times. And we said, we love you, donor, thank you. He left, and then we just said, this is going to be definitely the longest couple of weeks.
Yeah. So we did the next day?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we did the next day too, just to make sure.
Definitely the longest 2 weeks. I mean, there's so many different tests that you can take to try to see if you're pregnant early. So it was just the waiting game from there.
Yeah, the waiting game.